And we are live on another edition of All In on High School Sports, All In on NJIC Football. Kurt Valenti, Jennifer Valenti, Jack Rizzo backstage. What's up, Jack?
How you guys doing today?
Mr. Kirkpatrick backstage. Well, we'll bring him in. We'll officially bring him in when we bring him in. But it's a Wednesday. We decided to hold off on election night last night. Jen, I'm tired. I'm not going to lie. I probably look tired. I have no voice at all. Drinking hot tea. How are you?
I'm good. I'm ready to talk some high school football. I want to give a shout out to our sponsors, Red's Beer Garden and Restaurant with locations in Carlstadt and Newark, and the Roosevelt with a location in East Rutherford. So huge shout out to them for supporting us, and be sure to check them out.
What's my favorite over there? What's my go-to?
The chicken cutlet salad.
Ah, I love it.
The chicken cutlets, just like you like them.
I do. Nice and like crispy, well done.
Yep.
Oh,
as soon as when you ordered that for the first time and it came,
that might be takeout. You know what? Takeout Saturday.
All right, there we go.
There we go.
Because
why
do we have to take out on Saturday?
You explain why.
Because we're getting a puppy.
Name?
His name is Bo. Don't be confused, viewers. It's not for Bo Nix and it's not for Bo Jackson. A little bit. It's a little nod to those. But why is it Bo? Right, but why is it Bo?
Well, you explain why it's Bo.
Well, our former dog was Bella, which means beautiful, and Bo means handsome. So it is paying some homage to Bella.
Okay. And we'll throw a little Bonix and Bo Jackson.
We did throw that name around, so it did work out beautifully.
Do you want to remind everybody, Kurt, who your favorite college football team is?
Auburn Tigers, maybe. My favorite college athlete all time. I wish I could show the wall. He's all over the wall, number 34. I got the Bo Jackson Auburn jersey, Jack.
Some other names that were in contention, Jack, was Brunny for Brunson. Nikki for the New York Knicks, right?
I bet you Coach Luciani would like the Brunny.
Yeah, we'd like either of those, right? So, but something with Bo just seemed right. So,
well, my old old golden retriever, his name was Peyton, and he was named after Peyton Manning.
I like it. I like it.
Very nice. I know. I like that name. That would have been a good one. I would have considered Peyton. You know what I couldn't do? Which would have been good for John Elway, was the Duke, right? So we couldn't call our dog Duke because I hate Duke basketball. So
who's your team, Jen? Who's your basketball team?
University of Virginia. So
UVA.
Yeah. Yep. So they're
Oh, you went there, right?
Yes. Yep. Yeah. So can't be rooting for another ACC team.
I gotta tell you this. This is the worst move I've made tonight. So my throat is all kinds of messed up. So I'm drinking honey and hot water while I'm sitting upstairs with no air conditioning on tonight. It's about 80 degrees. I'm like dripping here, like dripping.
Forgive our appearance.
Yeah,
it's like one of those.
It's hot, and we shut the air off.
It was cold. We don't know what to do. So it is.
We're gonna sweat this one out.
It's an uncomfortable situation here right now. I'm not gonna lie.
That's her. That Kenny and Jack is because she needs the heat on when it's 70 degrees.
It was cold at night these past few nights. So
insane.
But let's get to what we want to talk about tonight. Let's for our first portion of the show, non-public brackets are out, so we will break those down, and then of course we will do our picks for the second round of groups 1 through 5 and first round of non-publics.
There's our good friend Robert Sarowine, who was on with us last week. Happy last week, of course, that Westwood moves on. So what's up, Robert? Did a great breakdown with us.
Thank you for taking so much time to join us and share your knowledge of the brackets. It was a great show last week, so thank you.
Let's get to it. What we're going to do tonight too is, I know we always have. By the way, we don't have Eli tonight. Eli is on a well-earned little vacation, and early happy birthday to Eli, because that is this week, correct, Jack?
Yes, happy early birthday to Eli. His birthday's on the 9th, which is this Saturday. So happy birthday, Eli.
Oh yeah,
hope you enjoy your time in Disney.
We do miss him this evening, but I hope he's enjoying.
Don't rush back, Eli. Spend as much time as you want there.
That's it.
You know what? What if I try to, because we want to talk about the brackets. So what if I try to pull them up here? I do have my my screen.
In the meantime, I'm going to bring Kenny and Jack in while you're setting up on that.
Non-public A we're going to start with, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Jack, I'm going to bring you, I'm going to bring you guys in.
There we go.
All right, look at you. Look at you.
Who's the tech person?
So,
in the
Mr. Kirkpatrick, I know everyone's always used to saying, here's Kenny's picks, here's Kenny's picks. Tonight, we're all kinds of out of sorts. We're late. So, you know what? We said, you know what? Jack's got double duty, but no Eli. So, let's just bring Mr. Kirkpatrick in. So, Kenny, what's going on, Kenny?
No, good to be here. Kurt, we did a nice show Wednesday. Good to be back with you. Jen, great to see you and finally meet Jack. Sorry Eli's not here, but I've been to Disney 3 times, and I know he's having a blast down there.
I don't know. Let me ask you, who's hotter right now, us or Eli? Because
I know, right?
it's hot in here.
Yeah.
It is hot.
All right. Well, let's do a little bracket breakdown. Here's the non-public A. You know what? We'll just go straight down the bracket here, guys. We have the 1 seed Bergen Catholic will be hosting the 8 seed Seton Hall Prep. Let's go. You know what? Let's go in the order of the screen there. Kenny, you want to start? Then Jack. And then Kurt and I will follow
Yeah,
up.
you just want to pick, Jen? Is that what
Oh,
we're
you know
doing?
what? I'm sorry. We're not doing pick. You know what? In the whole bracket here, if you want.
Oh, the whole bracket?
Yeah, if we want to talk about who's getting through to the finals. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Sure. I know. I watched last week how you did with Robert,
yeah.
so I'll be quick to give you guys more time to talk about it. But you got Bergen at the top seed, obviously number 1 team in the country, number 1 team in state of New Jersey, and top team in the country as well. You got St. Joe's at the top of that bracket there. 4 familiar teams, Peters and Seton Hall. They all play each other. I wouldn't be surprised if it's not Bergen and St. Joe's advancing. On the bottom of the side there, you got Del Barton and Don Bosco. Hopefully a 2-3 matchup that I would look forward to. Don't know too much about St. Augustine and St. Joe's McCutcheon, but I'm sure they got chances for upset as well. I'm going to go Bergen and Del Barton, and I'm going to have Del Barton getting the free match. You know me, upset Kenny. Somebody's got to do it one of these days. Del Barton's going to knock off Bergen in the final. And my sleeper in the bracket, Jen and Kurt and Jack's going to be St. Joe's, because if they can get by Bergen, they can win the whole thing.
Thank you for that, Kenny. We got our good friend Carson Shear saying hello. What is up, Carson? We just did a show with him on K&K.
Oh, nice. Jack, what are your thoughts on this bracket?
Well, it's a loaded bracket. I mean, it usually is. This is non-public A. I mean, all these schools are well known for their athletics. I will say North Jersey dominance here. I believe there's only 1 South Jersey school represented on this whole bracket, and that's St. Augustine Prep. So a lot of good North Jersey schools. A lot of these teams have played great games this year. I mean, Bergen and Del Barton had a really good game a couple of weeks ago. Del Barton, meanwhile, they did beat DePaul. That's DePaul's only loss this year was to Del Barton, and Del Barton went into DePaul and beat them. But I'm going to agree with Kenny. I think it's Bergen and Del Barton in the finals here in non-public A, as it was last year, right? Correct me if was it last year or 2 years ago? Bergen
Last year.
Okay, so yeah, I'm going to say rematch between Bergen and Del Barton. As for a sleeper in this bracket, yeah, I'm going to go with St. Joe's. I think if St. Joe's can't buy Bergen, they can get by anybody. And, it's a loaded bracket. I'm excited to see these games, but I'm going to stick to what I've said the whole season. I'm not picking against Bergen Catholic until a team from New Jersey actually beats them.
Yeah, I know, Jack. I've been saying the same thing, right? We talk about it. I don't want to reiterate the things you guys have said, but these teams have already battled it out with each other as the whole season has gone on here. I'm picking all chalk in this bracket. I know that doesn't surprise anybody, but I do. I think the top 4 seeds are a notch above the next seeds. I do. But I think it's going to be a Bergen Catholic Bosco final. I do. I think Bosco, yeah, I think Bosco wants that rematch bad. And I know I said I won't pick against Bergen Catholic, but I'm going to tell you right now, if it's a Bosco Bergen final, I'm not sure who I'm going to pick in that one. I'm going to have to rethink that because I think that could be a really good game.
Listen, I'm in agreement too, Jen. I know it's going to sound boring and it's chalky, right? But Bergen, Joe's, Del Barton, and Bosco. Again, this is my upset team, but an upset this weekend, the only one I would look at St. Augustine over Del Barton. I know it might sound crazy, but very respectable program there. Mm-hmm. Oh, wow. And I agree with Kenny and Jack. My sleeper is St. Joe's. Mm-hmm. Again, they were in that game against Bergen. They were in that game against Bosco. I mean, these four teams, right? They play so many close games, right? And Bosco down 4 with the ball at Bergen without their starting quarterback, and then they lost by 1 to DePaul without their starting quarterback. Quarterback now is the difference maker. He's back. I'm going to go Bergen, Bosco, Jen, but I am going to go Bergen. I'm just going to do what Jack said. Till somebody beats them in Jersey,
Yeah.
I'm not picking against them. But I would love to see another Bergen, Bosco state final. Our good friend Wayne Horton saying good evening, Jen and Kurt. What's up, Wayne?
I'm having a little bit of connectivity. Oh, there we go. I was going to say, so if anything happens there on the
Okay.
with the screen, just let me know, because I want to throw up the all in on there too. So,
Yep.
whatchamacallit, before we get to the non-public PB bracket, our official picks that we're going to make for our pick'em standings are going to come after we break down these brackets. And there's really not, I just want to let the audience know, there's not too many non-public games on there, right? Why did you not pick that many on the slate for this week? I'll let you explain that before we go.
I just thought it's a lot more of not North Jersey teams.
Yeah.
So again, we're eventually going forward. Next week we'll be picking every
yeah.
game, but I wanted to get more of the like I said, teams that we've been covering.
Yeah.
Before we make picks and give a
maybe
little
even
of
the, like,
research and stuff.
It's the second round. The games
Yeah.
are a little closer, right? So we try to mix in there, or maybe we'll have some different picks even. We're kind of feel like everybody might pick Bergen to get through the first round, right? So we just wanted to. So I just want the audience to know that we'll be picking our games, but it's a little light this week on the non-publics. All right.
There's our good friend Joe Merge. Good evening, Kurt, Jen, and Kenny. I think he forgot Jack, but he probably meant to say Jack.
Wow.
But Joe, I just want to get. I just Jackson. Well, you know what? Maybe because you're a St. Mary's guy and he's Lyndhurst. Maybe that's what it is.
Oh.
But again, I want to give Joe a shout out because I know Kenny, when he's working in Maryland, will always say, "I'm watching the Lyndhurst game." Am I right, Kenny?
Yes, you are. And I said hello to Joe on his stream. Not the result we wanted, Joe. They were my adopted team this year, but good season for Lyndhurst nonetheless, and nothing to be ashamed of.
You know what? If Joe is still watching, and maybe this is going to be I don't necessarily want to get into this, but I felt like there was a lot of controversy in the Ramsey Lyndhurst game. And, I don't know. I was just curious, both sides, and listen, I'd love to hear if any Ramsey fans are watching, or even Coach Bear, right? Like if there was, if that they felt.
Well,
like
you were laughing because we were
yeah.
watching the stream, and Jen, what were you saying? You're like, this is like chaos here tonight. You kept saying
there was just like, I don't know, it could be, and we were watching on a stream, so we weren't there. We didn't know what was going on, so it was kind of like, could the officials get control? What was going on? So I don't know if you don't feel comfortable commenting that, we don't have to. But
Joe is saying, by the way, he is correcting himself, saying hello, Jack. So he did say hello, Jack, and he's saying tough loss, but Ramsey never quit. And then Joe saying way too many flags involved.
Yeah.
And you know what? That's the sad part. We always say, we watch pro games, right? And we're like, let the players play it out. And when you get that on the high school level, that's even worse.
Yeah, no, definitely. All right, here we have the non-public B is a little harder because there's some buys there, right? So I'll just kind of get the top here. Top seeded DePaul and second seeded Red Bank Catholic both have buys, and I'll just kind of scroll through here so people can see the. I'll actually leave. You know what I'll do? Well, I'll just leave it kind of like this. We'll have up what we have here. Can you guys
That's
see
fine.
it there? Okay.
That's good.
All right. Anything you want to add before we jump into it?
No, I mean, again, it's a full bracket. These were, I remember when I was coaching at St. Mary's, again, they did it a little different. It was like, there was actually a time where it was, for non-public, it was a group 1, a group 2, a group 3, a group 4. So we were group 1 at St. Mary's. When we won the state title in 06, we beat Patterson Catholic, but there might have been like 4 teams that got to the playoffs. I mean, listen,
Right.
Patterson Catholic was
Of course.
a juggernaut. But then what they did was they started combining groups 1 and 2, and then groups 3 and 4.
Mhm.
Then they decided to do how they do now, parochial A, parochial B. So they kind of like switched it up. They didn't have a lot of teams. So the way it is right now, I think it's been working for the best.
Okay. All right. Kenny, you want to tell us who you have kind of breaking through here to the finals and picking a sleeper as well?
Yeah, a lot of teams, I'll be honest with you, that I'm not too familiar with living in Maryland now, but Obviously, no DePaul, obviously, no Paramus Catholic, and obviously, no St. Mary's on this list here. DePaul, they're going to probably most likely, unless something strange happens, which sometimes does. I think they got a nice, smooth ride to the finals. It's unfortunate for St. Mary's. On the bottom side of the bracket, watch out for Paramus Catholic. They played all the big boys. Now they fall down to the smaller group, their group, I should say, playing Group B schools as opposed to them only playing DePaul in the regular season, I believe. And maybe it was Pope Fix or Pope John. They played only two Group B teams. So I'm looking at Paramus Catholic maybe being a sleeper team over Red Bank on the bottom side. But my sleeper team in this bracket, Jack, Eli, if you're listening out there, St. Mary's. I don't think they can win this whole tournament, Jack, Eli, Kurt, all the St. Mary's fans, but I do think you can win a couple games and make some noise in this tournament as a 12 seed, as a sleeper. So I think you could win a couple games here. So St. Mary's would be my sleeper, Jim.
I apologize. Should I stop sharing?
Yeah.
Because it's not.
Yeah.
I don't know. My connection is not on and off. So on my computer on my end here. So I apologize about that. It might take a second to catch up. Jack, do you have a look at the bracket there? Do you need?
I did, yeah.
Okay.
I am going with DePaul against Red Bank in the finals. We saw what Red Bank did. They beat PC by about 20 points a couple of weeks ago. That was a big win for them. I just think those are the two best teams in this bracket. As for my sleeper, I'm actually going to go with the team that St. Mary's is playing this week. I'm going to take St. Thomas Aquinas as my sleeper in this bracket.
I feel like in this bracket that it is kind of, again, a case of a drop off after the top two. I know Paramus Catholic has played all the big boys, but I don't. I think if they have to match up against Red Bank Catholic, I don't think that they are, there yet. So they've taken big steps. They made a big step here, but I still think it's going to be another DePaul Red Bank Catholic final. My sleeper is actually going to be, I just want to take a little peek at the bracket here. I don't know. I don't have a sleeper. I don't have one. I'm sorry. Go ahead. You're up.
By the way, Jack, you're going to love this comment. Joe saying, I would love to see St. Mary's to make it to the finals with DePaul. Wouldn't you and Eli and Coach Johnson love that going on?
Yeah.
You guys would, Jack, you would be broadcasting that game like from MetLife is where you would be broadcasting.
Well, no, we wouldn't.
That's right. They won't allow you to do it, right?
Yeah. Whatever. They can do it. They just won't get the views that we'll get.
Yes, that's it. And you know what? The commentary that we get when you guys.
No, nobody wants to pay for that, honestly. Everyone should just go to the game physically to watch.
That happens. We go and we'll do one outside the stadium.
Yeah, there you go.
Don't feel too bad. They wouldn't let us go either.
Yeah, they wouldn't. To do
they wouldn't
like
let
an
us
outside.
They wouldn't recognize us because we didn't do enough in the year 2024
on the website
in the year 2024. No, not just the website, just that we didn't have enough like print.
Yeah,
like they wanted like print. So like how many podcasts do you think we've done?
A lot.
Hundreds?
Yeah.
Hundreds probably, would you say at this point? Yeah. So wouldn't recognize us as a legitimate news outlet.
Yeah. We'll get them.
Yeah, it's all right. It's all right.
Joe is saying St. Mary's is a sleeper. Jen, I'm going to go, again, I agree with you. I think it's going to be chalky, DePaul, Holy Spirit, PC, Red Bank Catholic. I'm going to take Holy Spirit as my sleeper. I don't know if they could beat DePaul, but I think they're physical enough to play with them, and I think I'm gonna set up the rematch of DePaul and Red Bank Catholic. But you know what? I'm sorry. I still have a little. I'm gonna say in my throat. I can't even feel my throat right now. I have no voice, but a little bitter pill in my throat of that DePaul loss. Who beat them 2 weeks ago? Was it Del Barton?
Del Barton, yes.
Blowing that lead. I'm going to go Red Bank Catholic. I don't know. I think DePaul is a lot better than, is the most talented team in the bracket, but they just lose some games they shouldn't lose. And I think sometimes Red Bank might have their number. So I'm going to take Red Bank.
Okay. All right.
Oh, sorry. Oh yeah. Did I do it right?
Oh, that's what I meant. The little all in like
could do
the
that.
yeah. Well, yep. There we go. That one.
Okay, perfect.
But we're gonna go to this next too, so we can.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
That's okay. That's all right. No worries.
That's
no
okay,
worries.
Jack. For me, I like when you bring that up.
Yeah, of course he does.
Oh,
Of course he
oh,
does. There we have it.
No thanks to Paul will not lose another game. That's a very
Yeah.
valid point.
I might have to agree on that one. I might have to.
I do agree on that one.
Yeah. What you call it? So we are exceeding 100 games in the win column, all of us, for our all-in pick'em standings here. Kurt is, I think, the
Wait. Jack, go ahead,
I
Jack.
was trying to skip it, guys. Sorry.
Oh.
What number's next to my name, Jack?
Well, 105 is to the right of your name.
To the left of my name. and you know what? You know what? I should put the show on hold.
Wait a second.
Yeah, why is Jen's number one?
Yeah,
too?
you're both number one. There you go.
Exactly.
Beautiful. You're both
Get
number
that
one.
off.
Moving
Get that
on.
off.
Listen, I make a mistake every week. There's just so many
No,
graphics
Jen, that's a
to
good
do.
mistake to make because, you know.
Thank you. That
So-
was totally unintentional.
Moving
That's
on.
funny.
You're both number one.
Moving on. Exactly.
Kenny, sorry you're excluded from this, but
No. I got my 2 cents. Hey, I'm out of state in Maryland, and only 3 behind Kurt and 1 behind Jen. I'll take that. If you told me that week 1, I'd be happy with that result.
I do.
There's
want-
Dr. John. You have a bitter pill after the hard game. Time I gave you about picking Bridgewater Raritan over Irvington, 1 point loss. You know what's so funny is we watched that game, right? And we were like, oh, there's Dr. John. So Irvington, it goes into overtime. Irvington scores, and they keep saying on the stream, are they going to go for 2? Are they going to go for 2? So they line up for 2. Then one of the teams calls a timeout. They bring the kicker in to kick the extra point, and they I think it hit the crossbar, and Irvington loses by 1 in a fantastic game.
Dr. John, if you're still watching, would you have gone for 1 or gone for 2?
Yep.
Just want to know your opinion on that one. I do want to give Jack a shout out this week. Jack had the best record in our all-in pick'em. You were 7-4, Jack.
oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Followed by Eli and Kurt at 6-5. I was 5-6. I was terrible this week, 5-6, and Kenny at 3-8.
But wait, so
Kenny, whoa.
NJIC
Oh.
games are the first one.
Oh gosh, that's NJIC. Oh my goodness. Sorry. That was for NJIC. So, but Jack, you came in first here too. 14-3. You had a killer
14
week,
and 3, Jack.
14-3.
Wow.
Kurt
That's
was next at
wild.
13-4. Kenny and I were both at 11-6, and then Eli was at 10-7. He took some gambles last week. So yeah. So there we have it. All right, we're ready to do our actual picks for this week then?
Absolutely.
Okay. Can we get the all-in sign on the bottom so it takes our names away?
Yes.
Okay. I can't do it from my computer. Sorry,
Okay.
guys. I'm frozen over here. So, okay. Can you switch to our games?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, I'm going to control it. Okay, I'll
Yeah,
control. Okay,
mhm.
got it.
Wait,
All right.
guys, before we start, just out of curiosity, did Sparta or Montville win last week?
Montville.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the ones I got wrong.
Okay. Oh, now checking which ones you got wrong. I love it. The competitive spirit is
That's
up.
what I like.
All right. Our first game that we are going to pick is 4-seeded Verona at number 1-seeded Cedar Grove. This is, I believe it's North 2 group. We didn't change these.
I wrote it down, Jen. North 1, Group 1, Section 2. Does that sound right?
Yeah, I know. I'm just
Okay.
saying ignore the thing on the top. It's incorrect as well. It was a rough week here. It was a rough week.
Blame it on last night. I went to bed 3:30, so blame it on last night.
Okay. All right. We'll go Kenny, Jack, and then we'll finish up. Go ahead.
Cedar Grove, 1 seed Verona, 4 seed Verona played very well last week. Shut out Belvedere. Cedar Grove also advancing, but I have Cedar Grove winning this one 27-17. Verona's going to play them tight, though. Give them a little scare.
Yeah, I have Cedar Grove as well here. Verona was my sleeper in this bracket, but I'm going with Cedar Grove.
Listen, I've said it before on the show. This is West Essex Caldwell is the upper Bloomfield Avenue and Essex County rivalry. Verona Cedar Grove is the lower Bloomfield Avenue rivalry. It's the Battle of Bloomfield Avenue. This is a huge rivalry, but I'm picking Cedar Grove.
I want to get back to a comment Dr. John talking about the Irvington game. 1 all day. Kicker makes the previous 4 extra points. 1 all day. Irvington. Oh yeah. So you're saying he made the extra the 4 extra points.
You're a go for 2 guy. Would you have gone for 2 there? Not even taking the timeout into consideration. Like forget that they took the timeout and he switched it up. What are you doing?
I'd want to go for 2 because I want
I know,
my
you're a
offense on the
go-to.
field.
I
Go
know.
for 2, especially like it was a high scoring game. So it was like the defenses weren't stopping each other. So if you have a shot, you have to get 2 yards. Just go do it and get the 2 yards. That's what I'm going to do.
I'm with you, Dr. John. I would have gone for 1.
Yeah, but I just think, you know, you got to snap it, hold it, kick it. It's so much. Listen, you can't get 2 yards. Hey, hats off to them. They win. Going back to this game, Michelle, if you're out there listening, start watching film, bud, because you're going to see them in 2 weeks. It's going to be Butler, Cedar Grove, and Cedar Grove. When I said Butler is going to win the state title, I'm not taking that back. So Cedar Grove is a little mad at me, but you know what? We're going to see that. We're going to see that game. So I am going to go for this game, though. I think Cedar Grove blew them out first game, but just like Jen said, it's going to be a rivalry. It's going to be a little closer, but I'm still going to go Cedar Grove. Dr. John, how about this? Coach Man Javerona is my daughter's flag football coach, but Cedar Grove's Coach Gogarty is one of my best friends in AD. Well, who are you picking?
In AD world.
In AD world. So, Dr. John, who are you rooting for?
Don't force them to pick.
Oh, that what are you asking me easy questions on this show?
Love it.
All right.
Our next game is number 5 Shabazz at number 1 Westwood in North 1 Group 2 action. Kenny?
Well, no surprise. Westwood rolled in their first match in their round 1 matchup. Shabazz knocks out Caldwell, right? So does Shabazz get Westwood here? I'm going to say no, Westwood, but Shabazz gives them a little scare. 28-21 Westwood in this one.
Well, Eli and I took a gamble on Shabazz last week over Caldwell, and it paid off. Shabazz ended up winning. Do I gamble on them again this week? No, I do not. I'm taking Westwood here.
You know, I said last week about Shabazz, last year's giant killers, right?
Yeah.
And here they are. Everybody in Group 1 was glad to get them, up to Group 2. And then they go off and continue and they take off Caldwell. I know, but I just can't do it against Westwood. I think their giant killing ends and Westwood is victorious.
Scary game, though, for Westwood because Shabazz, just like you said, they know how to win. They win this time. They have tons of athletes on the field who can make big plays, right? One missed tackle, the kid goes 80 yards. I think it's going to be close going into the third quarter, but I think Westwood will wear them down with their run game. I'm going to take Westwood. Very close, though.
All right, our next game is number 3 Pequannock at number 2 Bernards.
Pequannock was my pick in the brackets when we did them last week. I'm going to stick with Pequannock here. Eddie Kasperzak's son. Shout out to him. Doing a great job over there broadcasting some games. I'm going to have Pequannock 23-20 over Bernards, the 2 seed here, and ruin their undefeated season.
Yeah, I agree with what Kenny said. I had Pequannock in North 1 Group 2 as well, and I'm not going away from that. I'm taking Pequannock here.
I agree with you guys. I have them as well. I have them in the finals. I don't have them winning the whole group, but I do have them in the finals of the section. Bernards escaped a close one against Rutherford last week. I know a lot of us were picking Rutherford as the sleeper in this bracket, and they did lose. I think it was 33-35, and Rutherford had the chance to send it to overtime, if I'm not mistaken. Right on the 2.
I'm not sure. It was 35-33.
Yeah,
I'm not sure exactly.
I thought they had a chance. I can't remember for sure. But I've been impressed with Pequannock since their opening season performance against St. Mary's. So I'm sticking with Pequannock.
Yeah, listen, again, just like you said, that Rutherford game, because and shout out to Coach Dunn. I mean, he took this team undefeated 9-0, right? After a bad opening game with Waldwick, 1 point loss to NJIC finalist Glen Rock at Glen Rock, and then he takes this team to a 2 point loss to Bernard. So really they have 2 losses by a total of 3 points to 2 teams that are a total. I think they're 18-1. So I am going to go with, I'm going to take Pequannock though. I'm going to take the experience. They're a very senior laden team. I love that they can run the ball. They can run that, they could run that rock. And I think you need to do that. That run game travels come playoff time on the road. I'm going to take Pequannock. Joe Samperi saying, have you spoken out on Group 1 yet? Yeah, but we did. But if there's anything he asks, just ask a
there's
question.
a certain team that
and
you were
we'll go
looking for
and
us,
we'll go back. We'll
Absolutely.
go back.
Just one more thing about Bernard. You know what makes that a tough thing? Again, we've talked about this before, and this was one of my things with like Lyndhurst last week, right? Is that Bernard is undefeated. They're at home. It's one of those when you're just winning and you're rolling, you just have this certain so I think it's going to be a good game for sure. All right, our next game is speaking of Lyndhurst, Ramsey defeated them last week. Number 3 Ramsey at 7-2 against number 2 Hanover Park. This is North 2 Group 2 action. Kenny.
Yeah, Ramsey came back second half last week against Lyndhurst. I was watching Joe's stream, did a great job over there. Ramsey came to play. Lyndhurst came to play. One of those teams had to lose. So unfortunately, it was Lyndhurst. Hanover Park, they got bias, no spies. I'm going to take Ramsey here off of that momentum win, comeback win against Lyndhurst. On the road, I'm going to take them, Jen, 23-17. Give me Ramsey Rams in this one.
Joe's asking about the Heights New Providence game. What we do is any NJIC games.
That's coming up.
So that's coming up.
Yeah.
We go through this, and then any NJIC games we pick them separately.
We started a little later tonight, our first show. So if you're tuning in for 9 o'clock NJIC, it's going to be a little bit more. So NJIC
couple
coming
minutes.
soon. But thank you for commenting with the team, so we know you did not miss it yet.
All right, I am going with Ramsey here as well. I think the momentum they had in the second half last week against Lyndhurst is going to carry into this week. And although Hanover Park's a good team, I like Ramsey here to win this game.
I'm going Hanover Park in this one. I was very impressed with Coach Bear's teams. I'm going to use the word grit, right? Did not give up, like you guys said, fought back, refused to lose that game. But you know what? It's a different animal. I think the home crowd is what made the difference in that, which they had the support of their crowd behind them. I mean, we saw them storm the field afterwards, right? It was a great atmosphere. Love to see that. The kids there supporting their team. But I'm going to Hanover Park in this one. I'm sorry, Coach Bear.
Their quarterback is phenomenal too. Ramsey's quarterback. He throws it, he runs it. And listen, not easy when everything was going wrong for Ramsey, right? Listen, they made mistakes, but I mean, everything that could go wrong went wrong. And you're playing a good Lyndhurst team with momentum, with confidence. And what happens? They turn around Ramsey and they say, you know what? We're going to come back, and they get stops. They make big plays. And when that offense gets rolling with Coach Bear, I'm so torn on what to do with this one because I love Coach Bear, man.
Likewise, I hate picking against Coach Bear.
You know what?
Uh-oh.
There's Robert Sauerwein, Hanover Park all the way. Sorry, I think Ramsey's not good enough to beat Hanover Park. My Facebook Messenger is going to be ding, ding. You know what? Let's go. Make them pay, Coach Bear. Give me Ramsey. Let's go. Let's go.
Alrighty.
You know what? You played the Westwoods. You played the Pequannocks, right? This is a little kind of thing, right? Pequannock kind of put it on Ramsey during the year. Hanover Park kind of put it on Pequannock during the year. So it's like, oh, that means no, not come post playoff. You know what? Remember, Ramsey still has in their head. Remember a couple of years ago losing that opening round game when nobody thought they would? So that's still in the program of their heads. You know what, Coach Bear? Let's go. I'm a believer. Give me Ramsey. Give me with Jack.
All right.
And Kenny.
Let's go to our next game. Our next game is North 1 Group 3. We have Riverdale at Passaic Valley.
Riverdale, the upset of the week, pulled off the upset over the 2-seed Mendham. And Passaic Valley also got by. But Kurt likes to every week, I know he has a prop or a shirt or something. Here's my pick this week, if you could see it.
I do.
PV, let's go. Give me Passaic Valley all the way. We're going to go 33-22. Passaic Valley gets the home victory here. The unexpected home game for Passaic Valley.
Yeah. All right, Jack.
Riverdale, they can win this game, but they won't. I'm taking Passaic Valley here.
I'm going Riverdale. I think they're going to surprise us again. I was impressed with their win last week. I'm picking Riverdale to advance.
Robert saying, I'm going to remember this, Kurt, when they lose, LOL. and Dale is saying that was 2021 when Ramsey got upset as the 1 seed.
Yep.
You know what? Hey, PV, great story. Kenny, you could sleep in that sweatshirt tonight, keep you nice and warm, but you ain't going to be holding up that shirt next week. I just think Riverdale, this is the Cinderella team, man. They are so used every year. Coach DJ over there has won big games, sectional finals, state finals. He's been in there battles with Coach Breslin, Ramapo, Riverdale. Robert saying upset Riverdale. I agree with Robert on this one. I'm going Riverdale with you.
You agree with me?
I do.
Yeah, I think you peeked at my sheet.
No, I didn't
All right,
peek at
our
your
next
sheet.
one is North 1 Group 3 as well, and this is the other semifinal. It is number 4 Montville at number 1 Pascack Valley.
I would love to pick Montville here, Jen, for one of your 2 teams that are still in this tournament. But Pascack Valley, man, they're special this year. So I got to go Pascack Valley. One of those games, I hope I'm wrong, because I like Montville's coach as well. You always talk about how on your shows, and he's been on your shows plenty of times. I'm going to go Pascack Valley, a little too much, 34-24 for Montville.
Yeah, I have PV here as well. I don't think anybody's beating them in North Group 3. I just don't. So I'm taking PV here.
Don't worry, Kenny and Jack. I have to pick with my head and not my heart. We're in a pick'em competition here. I love Coach DeBonta, is one of my favorite fellow coaches when we coached together at Montville. Pascack Valley has handed Westwood their only loss, has handed Ultapan their only loss. We talked about it, when we broke down the brackets. I think they're a really strong team, and I have them winning here.
Coach Kip is saying PV. Robert Sauerwein saying Pascack Valley is going to Rutgers. I'm with them. I think, again, Coach DeBonta, we love them. They'll come to play, but I just think PV is on like a mission. I think it's like their special year to get this thing done this year. So I'm going to go Pascack Valley also.
Right. Our next game is Cranford at Old Tappan in North 2 Group 3. This is a 1-4 game.
We quite gave Old Tappan a little scare last week, but I'm going to take Old Tappan. I think they learned from that game last week, and I think they're going to roll through this bracket now, and I'm going to take Old Tappan big, 35-21.
By the way, Coach Kip, is at Sparta, so he's saying, I'm bitter. Sorry, LOL, because Montville, we watched that game on Friday.
Cranford, listen, great season, but it's not baseball season yet. You're going to have to wait for a state title. So give me Old Tappan here at home.
I'm going Old Tappan as well. Yep, I think they, survived that little scare, like you said, Kenny. And sometimes you just got to get through those and get to the bigger picture.
You know what, Jen? You made a great point. They always saying every time on a championship run, you get that one scare where it's like, what happened? And then you learn, you go to film. Now these kids know, listen, there's no slipping around in this postseason. Cranfield, obviously a good team, but Coach Dunn, I'll go with Coach Dunn. I'm going to take Old Tappan.
All right, our next one is North 2 Group 3, a 3-2 game, West Morris at West Essex.
Oh, sorry.
This game I am also betting with my head and my heart here for you, Jen. I am going West Essex in this one. I think they're slightly better than West Morris. If the game was in West Morris, my prediction might be a little different, but give me West Essex at home field advantage. 21-19, probably one of the closest games of the weekend.
Yeah. Jen, you know me. I don't think I've picked against West Essex at all this season. I believe in this West Essex team. They've had a great season, and I think they win here. I think they win here at home. Give me West Essex.
Well, Kenny, your score prediction is ironic because this is a rematch of last year's Group 3 semifinal. They were both North winners last year, and I believe it was a 1 or 2 point loss for West Essex at that point. They won the section but lost in the semifinals of the group. I think they avenged that. They were at home last year. They're at home again this year. I'm going West Essex.
Good. I'm going to pick up a point on all you guys here. West Essex, great season so far. I just think West Morris, again, I think we're going to see what we did last year. Like you said, that semifinal was a great game. Again, what I like is a team like West Morris, they could run it, right? They could play defense. So that's going to travel. They're not going to be intimidated. They've been there. They know that atmosphere. I'm going to take West Morris in this.
All right, our next game, we're moving on to Group 4 in North 1. We have number 4 Mount Olive at number 1 Morris Knowles.
This is my upset of the week. This was my sleeper in Group 4 North 1 and my champs in Group 4 North 1. Mount Olive rolled last week to a 40-6 score in the first, 46 victory in the first round. Mount Olive with the upset of the week, 24-21 over Morris Knowles.
I don't hate that, honestly. I think that's a great pick, but I think Morris Knowles is just too good of a team. Mount Olive's going to give him a great ride. I think it'll be a one-score game, but I'm going with Morris Knowles here at home.
You know, Mount Olive's 3 losses are to Chatham, Morris Knowles, and Wayne Valley, all playoff teams, right? All good playoff teams. But you know what? Morris Knowles is good. This is a rematch from early October. Morris Knowles had a lopsided victory. I think it's going to be much closer, but I still think it's going to be Morris Knowles.
Me too. I think it will be a little closer. Again, postseason, you see somebody, you're going to have a new game plan, everything, just the game's going to it'll slow down a little bit, like offensively and defensively for Mount Olive, but I'm going to take Knowles at home too.
All right. Our next one is the other side of that North 1 Group 4, number 3 Ramapo at number 2 Ridge.
Might be going a little more of my heart here but Ramapo's good. Ramapo started off slow with the new coaching staff coming in. Coach Breslin out there, best of luck. I think you're going to get him. You're going to go to Ridge and you're going to come away with a hard-fought victory, 33-27. Ramapo can score with anybody, and I think they put up a little more than Ridge in this one, and they advance to the final.
Real quick, Dale is saying, shouldn't the leader in the standings pick first?
Yeah. Well, you know what? Well, you could argue that the leader in the standings could pick last. You could argue it that way as well, which you do right now. But yeah, good. I like your comment, Dale. Jack, what do you have in this one?
Guys, Coach Breslin told me he'd give me a Ramapo shirt last week for picking that. How I can't pick against Ramapo. Are you kidding me? I've got Ramapo here. I'm not picking against Ramapo.
You're turning into Kurt. You're all about the clothing.
Jack, you got to text me tomorrow, and then I'll shoot that text to Coach Breslin. Coach Breslin's been busy with film because I haven't heard from him all week. Usually I haven't heard from him.
Hey, it's state tournament time. Let him focus. Ramapo has come on strong at just the right time. But you know what? Ridge has won 8 in a row. Their only loss was their opening season loss to St. Joe's of Metuchen, a non-public A school, right? I just think they're a little stronger. I'm going Ridge.
Okay. There is Mr. Kasperzak. Eddie Kasperzak just tuned in. Thanks for mentoring my son, Kenny. Let's go, Pequannock. And there is TJK Network. Glad to see you picked Pequannock. We will be broadcasting the game.
Right,
awesome.
There we go. Awesome.
Nice.
And there's Eddie saying, I will be there with my son on Friday.
Nice.
But I know where Eddie's going to be on Sunday. Glued to that TV when we end the undefeated Chiefs streak. We'll go into that in a minute.
Let's go.
Coach Breslin, should we send them for chips tonight?
I don't know. That's on you.
Nah, no way. You know what? This team's hot. And this is where that schedule, Old Tappan, Ridgewood, hot, just listen, they've played in playoff games from week 1. Now Coach Gattuso got them figuring it out. Coach Breslin over there, that coaching staff there, they're not going to be intimidated going into Ridge. Give me Coach Breslin, Coach Gattuso, and give me my Ramapo Raiders. You know what? This isn't even an upset. Let's go. Give me Ramapo. Oh, by the way,
real quick.
He's saying not
mentoring.
Mentoring.
2 seconds. I always like the logos. What's his Ridge's mascot? Because that logo is a little scary looking.
It's a devil, I believe.
It's
I'm not sure. I think are they something with the devils?
Let's see what their names are. They are the Ridge Red Devils. Good job, Jen. Even though it's green.
I was gonna say I thought it was like some color devil, and then there's like it's blue, but it's green, so I didn't think it was red. Okay.
Scary looking devil.
We got some scary ones here. We definitely do. All right, our next game is North 2 Group 4, number 3 Northern Highlands at number 2 Woodbridge.
I've been wrong on Northern Highlands a lot this year. When I pick for them, they lose. When I pick against them, they win. Would I be surprised if Northern Highlands pulls off this upset? No, but I'm going to go with Woodbridge. They're 10-0 for a reason. I think they go to 11-0 and get to the final in Group 4. North 2, 24-20 in this one, Jen.
Yeah, I am going to pick Wisconsin. No.
You like this team, Jack. You like them because of the Wisconsin logo, right?
No, because they're a rival of Colonia, which is my old hometown. So I'm not really a big fan of Woodbridge, but I'm going. Yeah, give me Woodbridge here.
I'm going Woodbridge as well. Kenny, I couldn't agree more. I've been kind of like off with Northern Highlands all season long. And again, I feel like when you're the home team rolling in undefeated, there's just something about being home and having that momentum for the whole season, that confidence. You walk on the field with a little bit of like an attitude, and I'm picking Woodbridge.
This Northern Highlands team, again, guys, remember, Northern Highlands was the preseason North Jersey #1 team. Had some injuries, had a couple tough losses. Again, tons of injuries and a schedule that second to none in the state of New Jersey. But you know what, guys? This Northern Highlands team just reminds me of my similarity is going to be like the Baltimore Ravens in football, right? Like just every year, like, oh, here come the Baltimore Ravens 9-8. I don't want to play them in the postseason because all they do is they know how to win. They play the style. And give me Coach Cord, man. All this guy does is win in the postseason. Give me the upset. Give me Northern Highlands. You know what? Can we see Northern Highlands and Ramapo again in the postseason?
That would be
I'm going to do it.
I'll root for that.
I'm doing it. But
100%. give
me Highlands, man. This team just wins in the postseason. I'm taking Northern Highlands.
All right. Moving on to Group 5, we have the number 4 East Orange at number 1 Ridgewood.
This is one I can definitely see the 1 seed getting knocked off here by the East Orange team here, but I am going to go Ridgewood. I'm going to reluctantly pick Ridgewood, 31-28. This one would not surprise me at all if East Orange pulls off the upset, but I'll take Ridgewood for the standings.
All right. Before we do that, we have a comment for Robert. So he's taking Northern Highlands in the upset as well, Kurt.
Yep. Thank you, Robert.
Yeah, it feels like every time we've had Ridgewood on here, I picked them and they've lost. And in Group 5, I had the 2 Oranges in the finals in North 1. I'm not going away from that. Give me East Orange. That's my upset of the week, at least for all in.
I feel like when we talk about the Group 5 schools, it's like a little mini non-public A.
Yeah.
They like battle it out in the regular season.
Yep. And then postseason.
And then they see each other again. Anybody could beat anybody else on any given day. But I'm picking Ridgewood in this one.
Yeah, I'm going to go Ridgewood too. Listen, this game's probably definitely like a toss-up, right? I mean, you can go either way. East Orange, obviously, a great program. Just won a state title, was that a couple of years ago, right, Jen? When we were first doing it, we had Coach.
Yeah.
My God, I forgot his name. How bad is that? And he coached with us at St. Mary's on the 2006 state championship team. But I'll remember it. But I'm gonna go Ridgewood too. Again, this is where like their schedule, and East Orange plays a tough schedule too. But just I don't know. At home, Jack, I can't say on the blue turf because they don't have the blue turf. But at home in Ridgewood, it's a pretty damn good home field advantage too. So I'm gonna go Ridgewood.
All right, our next one is our last Group 5 game on the slate. In North 2, Group 5, Passaic Tech, which is the 3 seed, at 2 seed, second seeded Elizabeth.
I got PCTI, Passaic Tech getting through this one, and we're going to get the matchup that we want to see, Union City, Passaic Tech in the Group 5 final. 20-17, low-scoring game in this one.
Yeah, I have PCTI as well here.
I do too. And Kenny, likewise, I think it's because I'm rooting for that Union City PCTI. I'm gonna say rematch. It's been
Coach Valdez would love that too.
I think so.
They should just get blue turf because then you say blue turf. What is it, Jack? Blue turf on the roof, right? That would be a little of everything if they're on there. No, give me Passaic Tech too. I just think again, I don't think going on the road is going to affect them. So I'll take Passaic Tech.
All right. And our last one for the our all in minus the NJIC teams is non-public Group B, the 14-3 game, Hudson Catholic at Paramus Catholic.
Well, there it is, Jen. Paramus Catholic 3 seed with a record of 3-6.
Crazy.
Think of the competition that they've played, Bergen and even DePaul, but the eight games on their slate is and to win 3 of them, that's pretty impressive. I'm going to have Paramus Catholic going by pretty easily in this one by 2 touchdowns. We'll say they score a lot of points. It's going to be 41-20 Paramus Catholic in this one.
I have PC as well here.
Me too. They score a lot of points, but you know what? They give up a lot of points. So I know we're 3-6 and they play the big boys, but you know what? They got to make sure they don't give up that many points. But I think it might be a little closer than people think. I don't know. Maybe I'll be wrong. Again, this is another team, Paramus Catholic. I feel like when I go with them, they disappoint me. When I don't, they prove me wrong. But I'm going to pick them in this one.
Yeah, Hudson Catholic shut down football for a while, come back, nice little comeback season for them to get to the postseason, 5 wins. But I think that they're going against this explosive Paramus Catholic, like you said, Jen. They score a lot of points. I'll take PC at home.
All right, and there we have our picks for the groups 1 through 5, and excluding everything NJIC, which brings us to the NJIC. We ready to roll right into NJIC, everybody?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Well, you know what? We're going to do a little bit with the a recap. So maybe we want to just
Stat leaders.
get us on the screen. Maybe we'll bring Kenny and Jack back in.
Sure.
This way we can just
Sure.
make the screen bigger. I
Yeah.
just want to get the all-in logo down there
Okay.
too, on the bottom. Okay. So yeah, is that good? We want to roll right into the stats?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you bring them up for me?
Yep. Let me just get
Okay.
your yes. Okay.
So we're starting off our week 9 with the defensive stat leaders here. And we have at the top of the board, Luca Thomas from Elmwood Park with 15 tackles, and Nick Laura as well. Nick Laura consistently
Every week,
on this
every
leaderboard,
week.
right? Yeah. Then we have 2 players with 12 tackles, Roddy Marino, another name we're very familiar with, all over the board from Lyndhurst, and Abraham Martinez, also from Lyndhurst, each of them with 12 tackles in their state tournament loss to Ramsey. Rounding out the defensive stats for this week is Jake Johnson from New Milford with 2 sacks getting on the board there. I did want to give a little special shout out to a couple of players with like 10 tackles each. We had Sebastian Lopez from Pompton Lakes had 10 tackles. Devin Burgos from Rutherford with 10 tackles. We had Andrew Rossi from Park Ridge with 11. And then there was a quad group from Elmwood Park. I started with Luca Thomas, but Kyle Shama with 9, Jaden Ferrer with 7, Jesse Schratz with 8. I just wanted to give those kids a mention as well, doing some good work out there.
Awesome.
All right. Our next slide is going to be our rushing leaders for the week. Topping the board this week is Marcus Goldsack from Secaucus with 207 rushing yards. Nazir Owens, a name we see often from St. Mary's, with 132. And Jesse Schratz from Elmwood Park with 126 rushing yards this week. Anything you want before we go to our second group of rushing leaders about these kids you want to?
No, but we'll get into, and listen, hint, Goldsack. We'll talk to him a little bit, but
and hint, a defensive player.
Yeah, he's been having a nice little run, and Secaucus is having a nice little run, 4 in a row now to end the season.
Yeah.
So, Coach
Nice to
Curry
see.
and Coach, oh my God,
Don't put me on the spot like
Voorhees.
this. There you go.
I'm sorry, I know they do the combination head coaching. So,
All right.
hey, rough start, but a nice little finish for Secaucus.
All right, and rounding out the top 6 in rushing leaders for the week, we have I can't see it on your screen there.
Michael Shanahan.
It's pronounced, I believe, Shahinian, right? From
I wanted to
Park
say
Ridge.
Shanahan because of the Mike Shanahan.
115 yards. A newcomer, Yadi Perez from Butler with 109 yards, also had 2 touchdowns this week. He's filling in for an injured player, and I really feel like he literally got his legs underneath him this year.
Yep.
It's a great confidence build as they continue in the state tournament. And Matt Boysitz rounding out the rushing leaders with 106 yards from Glen Rock. All right. Our next stat is
Go into it.
touchdowns. Yep. Okay, is our touchdown leaders for the week. And we had 3 players with 3 touchdowns. William Cusick from Cresskill, Chris Joya, another name we see all the time on there, and Nazir Owens, St. Mary's, with 3 touchdowns each. A lot of 2 touchdown scorers, Nick Atney from Glen Rock, Roddy Marino from Lyndhurst, PJ Coffey and Yadi Perez, as I mentioned, both from Butler. Giovanni Nicodemi from New Milford, Brady Shine from Hasbrook Heights, Marcus Goldsack from Secaucus with 2 touchdowns each. So I want to give them a mention as well. All right. And our last is our players of the week. Let's roll into those. Okay, our first player of the week. We gave you a little spoiler before. You know what? We feel like we mention him every week, right? And he had 15 tackles this week. He also had a blocked kick. And for the season, he has 83 tackles.
15 tackles in a game against
Yeah.
an undefeated Bernard's team.
right,
I mean,
right.
just all
Yep.
over the field.
Mhm.
Does a little offense too, obviously, but defensively, I mean, this kid is just an absolute stud on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, 100%. Next player of the week is actually a back-to-back player of the week, Bradley Higgins. This is another player that we felt like each week we were impressed with his stats, and we were, I don't know. I don't want to say waiting to honor him, but it was like, all right, last week we were like, wow. And then this week, I feel like he surpassed it even. 19 for 31 passing for 345 yards. He threw for 3 touchdown passes.
Jack, you're going to love this. Off the air yesterday when we were talking about stats and stuff, I said to Jen, this is true. And you could ask Coach Sheridan. I said, there were some seasons that I bet you the quarterback at St. Mary's didn't have 345 yards for the year. The year.
That's all
And
about
he
the
had
Gale
this in a
sweep.
game. So yeah, the Gale sweep. So you know what though? Hey, again, just 2 back-to-back incredible passing games. Jack, do you want to add anything? You were there last week. I mean, 19 for 31, 345, and 3 touchdowns. What's your thoughts, Jack, on Bradley last week? Oh, I don't know if we lost him, Jack.
Nope, maybe he stepped away for a minute.
Am I here?
Okay,
Oh,
yep,
there
you're
you
here.
go,
Sorry,
yeah.
Jack.
Yeah, he had a great game. We were playing from behind basically the whole game, so I feel like the yards kind of had up from there, but he was very efficient. He had a rough game against Glen Rock a couple of weeks back, had 3 turnovers, but the last 2 weeks he's been very impressive. I mean, you can't stop him, and he's underrated in the run game too, and he's been a good quarterback for us this year.
You know what, Jack? You make a great point that Glen Rock game, a couple of turnovers, and you truly see him just get back to work, get back at it, exactly, and fix it. So I love to see that. That is a true competitor right there. So I love your insight to that. Thank you for sharing that.
Of course, yeah.
All right, and our last player of the week is Marcus Goldsack from Secaucus with 5 for 17 this passing, 147 passing yards. He passed for a touchdown and rushed for 2.
And he had all those rushing yards, 200 yards rushing yards.
Oh, exactly. I forgot to add that in there. Yep.
So big monster.
I couldn't fit it.
Big monster game. Again, doing a little of both, and like we said, he's done a fantastic. In Secaucus, because they've done a fantastic job the last 4 games to win 4 in a row.
Mm-hmm. All right. Next, we'll roll right into our pick'em standing. Sound good?
Yep. Let me bring these guys back in.
All right. Here it is. Here we have it. Jack, I'll just get this out of the way. I'll let Kurt do.
Go ahead, Jack.
Go ahead.
Well, 90 is next to your name, Kurt.
To my left, to the left, Jack, to the left.
Kurt's age.
It's opposite day. It's still 90. No, I'm kidding. It's number 1. Of course it is. What else is new?
By the way, I'm going to be honest. I unless all these teams win, all the NJIC, Kenny is mathematically eliminated in the NJIC picks.
Oh.
Am I right?
I guess I don't think there's enough games left.
There's not
could-
enough games. I've been out since week
Kenny, I don't
3.
want to even say it. He's such a sore winner. He's like the worst winner.
Yeah, I've been out since week 3.
All right. Jack, I erroneously reported our scores. I switched them, but I want to give you a shout out for the best NJIC picks record for the week at 7-4. So well done.
Thank you.
Good job.
Good job.
Jack's been studying.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, guys. Let's roll into this week's picks. You want to get them up there for us? All right. Okay. All righty. Our first game that we are going to is short slate for NJIC.
Yeah.
The only teams we have 5 teams alive, right? So our first one is number 4 Glen Ridge at number 1 Butler in North 1 Group 1 play.
Well, Butler, obviously the NJIC champs. Congratulations to the Butler Bulldogs, the Blue Field, like everybody alludes to.
Blue turf, not
Blue turf.
Blue turf, right, Jack? It's the
blue
blue
turf.
turf.
Yes, the blue turf. My apologies. Glenridge. Impressive win over Pompton Lakes, who a lot of people had as a sleeper. I might think myself included in this bracket. Glenridge is going to keep this close. Kurt, you said Old Tappan. Good teams have that one game that gives them a scare.
Yep.
This is going to be Butler's scare. Second half, Butler pulls away 34-20, Butler over Glenridge.
We have a comment from Joe saying Butler wins it all. It so agrees with what you said, Kurt, about Butler winning the Group 1 state title. Yeah, how can I pick against Butler here? Coach Luciani, Michelle, Kurt, Jen, Kurt with the hoodie that you show on the screen, Eli down in Florida, Blue Turf Friday night, PJ Coffee racking up the stat sheet every week. I can't pick against Butler. I'm taking Butler here.
I have Butler here as well.
Listen, I said it. I'm not going back on my words. They will be sectional champs. They will be North champs. They will be state champs, and then we all party, right? Remember what did I say? I can't speak for you and Jack. And I want in on that celebration state championship. I will wear a suit for Coach Luciani. You know what?
I will wear a suit
No,
for Coach
I'll go.
That might be the line of the night.
No. I'll go with a nice blue tie with a white shirt for the Butler blue door. What do you think, Jack? Blue suit or white shirt with the blue tie for the blue turf? What do you think?
It's got to be the same color as the turf on the field, I think.
That's
like a bright blue.
That's like a bright blue. So yeah, maybe we'll keep that with the
None
shirt
of
or
this
tie.
navy blue,
Maybe we'll go black jacket.
They've got to get there. They've got to get there first. They do have to get there first.
They're gonna get there. I'm going Butler. Our good friend Graham. Hello, everyone. Kenny, Jack, Kurt, and Jen. Graham does an excellent job. Bex are producing for the K&K. So thank you, Graham, for checking.
Hi, Graham.
But I'm going Butler.
Okay. All right. Our next game is the other North 1 Group 1. It happens to be another NJIC, number 2 Wells Milford playing host to number 3 Mountain Lakes.
I got the slight upset here in this one, if you want to call it that. I'm going to have the Mountain Lakes Buffalo Bills over the New Mexico Milford. I got Mountain Lakes. I like the Buffalo Bills logo there. 24-21. Mountain Lakes shows up in these playoffs. Talking about playoff teams, coaches that know how to win the playoffs. Watch out for Mountain Lakes. I'm going to have them with the slight upset here.
I have New Milford here.
I'm going Mountain Lakes as well, Kenny. You know what? It is New Milford's had a nice season. Coach has done a great job in his inaugural season there with them. Jersey Ryan, great quarterback. But you know what it is with Mountain Lakes? They just have that history. And I just feel like when state tournament time rolls around and you have kids who are used to winning, you just find that way to win. And I'm picking Mountain Lakes. Yeah,
just like you said, Jen, New Milford has had a tremendous season. They got tons of talent on their on their roster. And I like offensively how they can do a little of both, right? They have a good running game, but just like you said, Jersey Ryan, when they have to throw it, they can throw it. But listen, Mountain Lakes isn't going to throw it. I'm telling you right now. Mountain Lakes is going to line up. Here we come. Little wing tee action, little, break out of that wing tee. And here comes 35 to 40 carries, maybe more a game. I'm going to take that on the road, Jen. I'm going to go Mountain Lake. So good pick for that. Joe saying the herd too.
All right. North 2 Group 1 action now on the other side of the Group 1 bracket. Number 3 Hasbrook Heights, our NJIC team, traveling to number 2 New Providence.
I think there's going to be a lot of scored in this one. Heights beat Woodridge 41-7. I know Woodridge missing a couple players, I believe. And New Providence puts up 49 against Boonton in their first round matchup. I'm going to take the home team in this one, the Pioneers. They were my pick in North 2 Group 1, so I got to stick with it. And I'm liking that pick more and more each week. So give me the Pioneers 27-21 in this one.
This is a tough one. I think I might have actually taken New Providence. I don't even remember who I picked last week, honestly, in this bracket. But I've got to go with Hasbrook Heights here. They've just been playing really well the last few weeks. One of the better teams in the NJIC, and it's our NJIC show, so I'm going to ride with the NJIC team. Give me Hasbrook Heights here.
Well, you know what, Jack? I'm going with Hasbrook Heights as well. Like you said, peaking at the right time, right? All about playing at the right time. If you think the run game travels, then I hope Michael Napolitano is going to travel, because he has just been tearing it up. He didn't have as many last week, but I think it was a little more evenly spread amongst the Hasbro Kite offense. But I'm going Hasbro Kites.
Joe Merge is saying New Providence in overtime.
Oh,
This is one of the toughest games I had to pick on this whole docket here, right? Because I love what Heights does with the run game, right? And Kenny, you know, there's no love lost between me and Heights, right? So even though
he's mentioned it for 7 years now, everybody knows.
Even though
Coach Surrey knows.
Well, Coach Surrey got us Heights t-shirt, so there was a little love coming back, but I don't know.
He did his best to mend that.
He did. Maybe if we got hoodies.
Oh my
No,
God.
I'm joking. I don't know if I'm wearing a Heights hoodie, but no, I'm joking. But just like you said, Jack, Heights is one of the hottest teams right now in this NJIC. They really are. They run the ball. I mean, they had 300 yards, 400 yards rushing. But New Providence is a good team too. You know, the travel, the home field. I mean, I'm going to be honest. We watched elections last night and we kept seeing percentage. So I'm like 51-49. I'm going to go New Providence. But this would not shock me at all if Heights runs for 300 yards and gets the win with Coach Surrey. This team is hot. I'm going to take New Providence at home. But listen, a very shaky pick, because I do like what Coach Surrey's doing in Heights. But for the show, I'll take New Providence.
All right, North 2, Group 2 action. Number 4, High Point, who knocked out NJIC team Becton last week at number 1, Glenrock.
This is going to be, I know it's the NJIC show, but I got to go with the upset here. High Point put themselves on the map, and they might even have a chance to win this whole group as a state champion. They really put it on against Becton last week and shocked me. I think they get the win close, of course. I'm going to say 37-34 in a very high-scoring game, but High Point's going to get the road victory here, and I would not be surprised if they're not only your Group 2 champions, but your state champions.
Wow, these logos are almost exactly the same.
I'm thinking the same thing.
Well, High Point, unfortunately, you're going to hit the low point of your season. I'm taking Glenrock here.
I love Jack's one-liners. Those are good.
That was good.
That was very good.
Joe thinks Glenrock wins easy.
I have trouble picking High Point. I told you they were our nemesis when I was at Montville, responsible for knocking me out many heartbreaking state tournaments. But that's not the reason. I agree. Glenrock, you're going to help me here because I'm probably going to leave someone out. We have Nick Atney at quarterback.
Yep.
We've got Flacavento. We've got Boysitz. We've got
Iachetti.
That's who I was missing there, right? I just think they're a little too much. They're that one seat for a reason.
Yeah, but Kenny's right about this. I was very impressed with High Point last week. I mean, what they did to Becton, I watched that game. Their defense was good. They blocked punts. They were good in all phases of the game, and their offense was just rolling. You know, this is another tough one because again, I'm very close to picking High Point, but I just can't do it. I think Nick Atmey's a difference, but I could see Kenny. You said, what'd you say, 37-34?
Yeah.
I could definitely see that, Jen, because that's what we kind of saw in the St. Mary's, where it was just like you score, we give up a score.
Exactly,
I could kind of see this kind of game, a high-scoring game, but I'm also going to take High Point. I'm sorry. I'm going to take Glenrock. I'm taking Glenrock.
Just wanted to point out 9-1 as a 4-seed High Point.
Yeah,
and winning convincingly against Becton. I think they put themselves on the map. I will say that.
You know what, Kenny, Jen, that's a great point for a 9. You know, for an 8-1 4-seed.
Right.
I think they got a little underseeded there, or who else is in that bracket?
In the North 2 Group 2.
That's a great. I mean, that's Ramsey. That's Hanover Park. That's a great bracket.
Right.
Exactly. So, I mean, that bracket's loaded.
Yeah. Yep. So that's a tough bracket for sure.
Yeah.
But again, you got good teams that could all make their way through 100%. Yep. All right. Our last pick for the evening is number 12, St. Mary's, traveling to number 5, St. Thomas Aquinas.
I know this is going to be a tough road for St. Mary's, but it starts here. They're going to make a little Cinderella run here. They're going to beat St. Thomas Aquinas in round one. Jack, Eli, Kurt, Coach Johnson. There's the one guy you have on that screen every week for St. Mary's, and that's Nasir Owens, right? I think he may be the best player on this field, and best players come show up in playoffs, right? So give me St. Mary's in the upset here. St. Mary's needs to play a little more defense, and they'll advance. I'm going to go 34-28 in the upset, round one, non-public B, St. Mary's. Advance.
Before we get Jack, Joe, upset of the week, 28-12 from Joe Merge.
All right. Jack, what do you have?
Eli, thanks for ditching me in case I pick St. Thomas Aquinas.
This was a totally well-timed.
Yeah.
Well,
you know what Eli's doing right now? Eli's sitting by a pool watching this saying,
well, Jack. Eli, no, it's raining in Florida right now. I don't know.
But he's saying, go ahead, Jack.
You're the one going to school. Eli texted me. He's taking St. Thomas Aquinas here, 38-32. And yeah, I'm agreeing with Eli. I just been watching all the St. Mary games this year. I don't want to sound I don't really know how to put this, but I think they just have too much to clean up in a short amount of time. I don't think they're going to get everything they need to cleaned up in 1 week. I would say they're probably one of the most penalized teams in the NJIC, just considering how many flags they get a week. They have problems with turnovers, and the problem with the Gales is that if you take Nasir Owens out of the game, the offense can't really function. If they get too pass happy, it gets really rough out there. So on the road, sorry, Coach Johnson. Maybe I'll take another day off tomorrow. I'm taking St. Thomas Aquinas.
Well, you know what, Jack?
I might be the new voice of St. Mary's with these two picking against St. Mary's.
You might be the new voice. And Jack, listen, just say it's an election thing. Friday, you were really tired. If you're taking off tomorrow, just go off Friday, then deal with it on Monday. I mean, hey, Eli's on vacation. You take your own vacation.
Yeah, exactly.
Joe Merge and I will take over the St. Mary's broadcasting.
You guys might be live from St. Thomas Aquinas.
That's too funny. All right, guys. Listen. I'm going St. Thomas Aquinas as well.
Thank God I'm not alone.
You're not alone. It's listen, it doesn't mean I'm not rooting for St. Mary's, nothing against St. Thomas Aquinas, but I love Coach Johnson, everything he's done there. But I'm just picking against him this week.
Yeah. Listen, you can't pick every team every week, right? I mean, you look at the game, Jack made some really good points, and you see St. Thomas. What's the matter?
I'm sorry. I got a text from Coach DeBonta, and he said all four of you picked against me. Boo.
Yeah.
Well, you know what, Coach? I'm rooting for you.
We are definitely rooting for you.
And 100%. So did Coach Kip from Sparta. He did that.
That's a little
but he was
different.
bitter. Yeah,
that's
he was
a little
bitter.
Different. Yeah.
I'm going to say this though. Jack made great points, and listen, you want to listen to Jack and Eli because they see this live every week. I think St. Mary's, like you said, defensively, Jen, they've been giving up a lot of points, right? They gave up a lot of points to Immaculata last week. Well, how many did they give up, Jack?
49.
49 to Immaculata. They couldn't get them off the field, right? And sometimes what happens with that is, and again, St. Mary's, the talent on that offense is second to none. But the problem is, like you said, if it gets pass happy, now your defense on the field. I think what St. Mary's has to do this week is say, you know what, Nasir Owens, just like Kenny said it, not only for that, listen, 30, 35 times, because it helps your defense too, right? It keeps them off the field, and now it shortens the game. It does that. And just like Kenny said, hey, he's definitely one of, if not the best player on the field. So I'm running that thing 35, 40 times. When we have to make a play, we make a play, but I'm riding Owens this week. And you know what? I want to make this. I don't want to make this 50-48. I don't. Not this week. Listen, they played Paramus Catholic like that, right? So they're going to put up points. I want to see what St. Thomas Aquinas is going to do in a physical game. You know what?
Mm-hmm.
Line up and punch them right in the mouth. Yep. That's what I want to see.
Shootout.
Saying that, I'm still going to take St. Thomas Aquinas. And I hope I'm wrong for Coach Johnson, because Coach Johnson, I love you. So I hope I am wrong for that, but I'm going to do it. But I'm going to tell you this, just like Kenny said, they're going on a little run. They win this game this week. Now
Yeah.
we're talking.
Yep.
Here come the gals. So
100%.
Jack, we all got your back this week, so
Yeah.
don't worry about it.
Yeah,
Joe and I will
if
be
Coach Johnson,
live
if
from
Coach-
St. Thomas Aquinas on Saturday.
If-
Joe and I.
if Coach Johnson says anything tomorrow, I'll send him to you guys. Or you know.
Well, Kenny, here's the first problem. If you're saying live from St. Thomas Aquinas on Saturday, you're going to be by yourself because it's a Friday game at 6. So,
Yeah.
so you will
All right,
definitely
Kenny-
you have the
Kenny will
whole
be there
field
by
for
himself.
yourself.
All right.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
Well, there you have it. Our state tournament breakdown for the second round of the public school NJSIAA tournament and the first round of the non-publics coming up. Thank you for watching. Kenny, thank you for joining us tonight. Jack, thank you as always for helping us on screen and behind the scenes. Thank you everybody for watching, for commenting, and
one more time, happy early birthday to Eli.
Yes, happy early birthday to Eli.
Let me say one thing. Enjoy your teachers' convention, Jen and Kurt.
Thank you.
Yes, enjoy your convention.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And good luck to everybody who's still playing.
One more comment, Robert. Great show. Good luck to all the teams. I will be at Westwood Shabazz. Should be a great one.
All right. Keep us informed.